All right, guys, let's get into some more of Trump's cabinet. So the guys running the FBI, Kash Patel, Dan Bongino, doing a horrible job. They are terrible. They are a complete farcical, comical joke. They're two podcast bros that were swimming in conspiracy theories, were promising this arrest, that deep state, this, and literally none of it has come true. Nothing they said was going to happen has happened. Nothing they say they're going to do is going to happen. These guys are just clowns wasting our money and wasting our time. I could go on about these guys forever. And I saw a great video the other day. It was done by Steven Crowder and his team. They put together a bunch of videos of Patel and Bongino saying what they were going to do, what was going to happen. And you be the judge. It seems like none of it's happened, and it hasn't. And it's probably not going to either. The reason why we're going to go with Crowder on this one is because this is specifically what he voted for. He wanted, hey, Trump, if you put in Kash Patel to run the FBI, things are going to change around here, man. That's what he genuinely thought. And we know what we're getting, and it's not that. But to hear their side complain about the FBI like this, you know that it's serious. So without further ado, let's get into our boy, Steven Crowder.
Shut down the FBI Hoover building on day one and reopening the next day as a museum of the deep state. And I take the 7,000 employees that work in that building and send them across America to chase down criminals. Go be cops.
What day is it?
So let me ask you this, and I have to, because I will tell you this, I'm not like close.
What? Go be cops. You don't need an office. Just work out of your car. It's so weird. What a weird thing to say.
Friends, but Dan Bongino and I have been friendly. I've always enjoyed my interactions with him, and so it's hard to be objective.
Yeah.
I think I have a good idea as to where his heart is, and I believe it's in the right place. And it could just be gridlock where he's not able to do a whole lot. But I will tell you this, objectively, if I were to grade the FBI in the first year of Donald Trump, if not an F, D minus. Would you guys say so? Weren't you expecting some very obvious arrests?
Yeah.
Some very obvious auditing?
Maybe some more transparency.
A little more transparency?
Yeah. Based on what they said going in.
Exactly.
That's exactly right. And just so you don't take my word for it, we'll LeVar Burton this is what they were saying, the proclamations that were made before Kash Patel, Dan Bongino headed to the FBI.
Anyone that wishes to do harm to our way of life and our citizens here or abroad will face the full wrath of the Department of Justice and the Federal Bureau of Investigation.
So the moment Kash and I swore in, we realized that the first thing we had to do is rebuild public trust. This is your FBI. It's not mine. I tell the employees every day.
Not only are we informing the American public of what happened, but we can have accountability for it. And that takes a little bit more time.
We had to fix it and rebuild public trust.
And if you seek to hide in any corner of this country or any corner of this planet, we will put on the world's largest manhunt and we will find you. And we will decide your end state, not you.
My job now is to put aside my partisan interests and to responsibly handle the deputy director of the FBI position. You got to remember, Brian, nothing that gets to our desk, me or Kash, is a 5 or a 6 problem. Everything's a 10.
The days of selecting and putting your partisan bias on and taking care of your friends, those days are over.
If you think we're there for tea and crumpets, well, I mean, Kash is there all day.
Are you taking the
We share it. Our offices are linked. He turns on the faucet. I hear it. He's there he gets in at like 6 o'clock in the morning.
Whoa.
Easy.
That is early.
Early riser. We didn't expect you to be there for tea and crumpets. And we're not all that impressed with getting up at 6 in the morning because what we expected was Patel to turn the Hoover building into a museum.
The biggest problem the FBI has come out of its intel shops. I'd break that component out of it. I'd shut down the FBI Hoover building on day one and reopening the next day as a museum of the deep state. And I'd take the 7,000 employees that work in that building and send them across America to chase down criminals. Go be cops. You're cops.
Hold on, guys. We got to stop this real quick. Look at this book that he has.
Go be cops. Go chase down murderers. And
Look at this absolute ridiculous book that he has. Government Gangsters. I don't know who reads that kind of shit, but like, does he think he's a gangster? Yeah, probably.
Rapists and drug dealers and violent offenders. What do you need 7,000 people there for? Same thing with DOJ.
What day is it?
Sorry, you must have mispronounced get up at 6.
Day 1000?
Yeah.
Is like a did we short?
And here's the thing. If you make reasonable promises, people will have set expectations.
Right.
And by the way, I don't even think that's an unreasonable promise. He just hasn't done it. So let's go through the good, the bad, and the ugly here with the FBI. And again, I'm doing my best to be objective here. I hope you can understand how sometimes it's difficult where you have some people who you know.
Yeah.
So here's one of the good ones. The FBI, basically they foiled a New Year's Eve terror plot by a leftist group with a very silly name, the Turtle Island Liberation Front.
And their co-conspirators detailed coordinated plot to bomb.
For the record, I don't buy this bullshit, like, at all. This is some made-up bullshit.
Multiple U.S. companies on New Year's Eve. Thankfully, that plot has now been foiled thanks to the hard work of the FBI and the Department of Justice. This investigation was initiated in part due to the September 2025 executive order signed by President Trump to root out left-wing domestic terror organizations in our country, such as Antifa and other radical groups like the Turtle Island Liberation Front.
And you know what I just realized, too, when people say the biggest threat to American, I heard, what's the name, Roland Martin on Piers Morgan saying, it's domestic terrorism, is white men.
Oh, boy.
Well, when we say the biggest sort of, I guess, epicenter of terrorism, hotbed, springboard, launching pad is Islam, you know, that can include people from many different races. Right? I mean, think about it. People who are Qatari, very different from people who are Somalian or Turkish or, you know, ethnically they'd be Persian. But you still have issues of terrorism. So when they say white males, well, TILF for short, right? The Turtle Island Liberation Front. I'm sure there are some white men in there, but you would put them in the same category as those militiamen who, by the way, I don't believe have killed anybody in recent memory. TILF is an anti-capitalist group dedicated to, quote, liberation through decolonization and tribal sovereignty. There isn't a unifying ideology amongst people who are white. Matter of fact, you couldn't go to any white neighborhood, pick 5 houses.
You're trying to make this place a Christian nationalist nation. What you're saying right now is bullshit. God, we can't even go 5 minutes without saying something stupid.
Seeing that, we're seeing a lot of press hits that seem to be more self-serving than serving the American people. Again, just my opinion. So right now the FBI, they're offering a $50,000 reward for the Brown shooter. And, okay. So we're going to talk about transparency. Right? I understand crowdsourcing, especially now. We do the same thing with journalism. Here's what the public has as a jumping off point. These pictures posted by Kash and this video posted by the Providence Police. So the Slender Man.
Oh, there he is. I see him now. Kinda. I see half of him.
People calling the cops. Yes, I believe I just saw the Mothman prophecy.
Isn't this from Signs?
Something about chapstick?
Yeah. So they released that and say, hey, can you help us? We really want you to take part. By the way, this video of the suspect has also been making the rounds.
Okay, Crowder, that was a good one.
And keep in mind, Brown University has more than 800 security cameras.
Wow.
This is where people say, hey, hold on a second. I'm asking some questions. And a legitimate question is, 800 security cameras? An active manhunt? That's all you have? I find that difficult to believe. Why is this all we have? That's a pretty reasonable question.
Oh, I forgot to hit record.
Yeah. And by the way, that actually can be the case. I'm not saying it's the case here, but that can be the case where sometimes you run out of space. It shouldn't happen at a school.
They run out of VHS
But I know people have had that on their home security systems where it's like, you need to pay for upgraded storage and you lose it. But there should be answers for that.
People delete stuff too. That happens.
Yeah, this was the school that was nicknamed the surveillance school in the school newspaper.
Well, I think Nancy Mace has the footage.
Yes, she does.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
Yeah.
Call her up.
Yeah, it's just her, nothing but a bathrobe with a fridge camera.
She's right next to the guy in the bushes.
Now, here's the thing. So they're doing that. That's all they give you. Okay. All right. I understand using the press for transparency or using it to try and protect the American people. I don't think that was done very effectively. What was, however, was going on the Katie Miller podcast. Kash Patel did that with his girlfriend,
We are so excited to be joined by Kash and his beautiful girlfriend, Alexis. So I just want to clarify, you're not Jewish.
I'm not.
You are not from Israel.
No.
So how did we get to, are you a Mossad agent?
You know, that's a great question.
Where's her ring? Just to clarify, how often has he traveled to see you since January 20th? Has there been one moment where you're like, you can't make this up?
Hard no.
Now, who is Katie Miller related to?
Stephen Miller.
That's right.
By marriage, I believe.
No, none of them have appeared here with, exponentially more viewership and have been invited. And to be clear, I think it's wrong what they did with, I believe it's Alexis Wilkins. I think she's a good kid. I've spoken with her in the past. She's Armenian Orthodox. I've not seen anything that says that would suggest any evidence that she's a Mossad honeypot. So I understand how much that must suck. And even the people who made those claims kind of backed off from it.
Yeah, but suing the people.
Yeah, and going after, suing people, and then going after the podcast space to clear that up, but not the shooting. Now, to be clear, this interview was pre-taped.
Yeah.
And Miller even actually wrote that she said it was taped prior to Sunday. But when people talk about the swamp, this very much does seem like, hey, where is the most sensible podcast here, sensible show where I could reach the most amount of people and it be done in good faith, but be challenged? It's not Miller's wife. That very much seems like favors for favors. And it's not a good look. No. It's not to defend what I would say is not really all that defensible.
It's weird. This is a podcast, bro, running the FBI. Crowder's absolutely right there.
I've also used the airplane less than my prior two predecessors. And yes, I'm entitled to a personal life just like my other agency had counterparts with their partners. So do I support my girlfriend? Absolutely. And do I take trips with her? Absolutely.
So, to be clear, he criticized, by the way, of course, the use of the jets. Girlfriend, in that case, is not the same as like a wife, like a first lady.
Right.
And
that sentence is funny, though.
Yeah.
As the FBI director, I would like to support my girlfriend.
So I don't give a shit.
Okay.
Fine.
What are you, the head of Gilmore Girls? What is this?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
The director?
Those in government using it for personal means.
Imagine that from the FBI director. Yes, I support my girlfriend. That's weird.
And Kash Patel has given off that vibe. Like, for example, he did this in October. He was pushing President Trump and the White House to celebrate Diwali. How's that? Why should America care?
President, it's an honor to be a first-generation Indian American whose parents lawfully immigrated to this country. And under your leadership, so many more millions of Americans are living that dream. And to celebrate here in the Oval Office on Diwali, which you said, rightfully so, is a triumph of good over evil. It's just an incredible honor. It's incredibly humbling.
Demon worship,
Indian Americans around the world and Indians around the world are thrilled that you are such a profound leader in sharing this diversity with the world. And we can't thank you enough. And happy Diwali.
Yeah, I don't like anything that I just heard. And I'm not saying that it's right. But when people talk about, is this nation a Christian nation, the founding fathers, I'm not saying it's right. But George Washington would have had.
Thanks for letting in a bunch of Indians. Trump like, wait, did I do that? Did I let in a bunch of Indians? No. Oh, man. So it's just the incompetence of, and just the absolute comical ridiculousness of Patel and Bongino is got us where we're at right now. So after they probably made that video this weekend or something. After they made all that, said that, Bongino's our friend, he's not leaving. Fast forward to yesterday, and the news breaks. So I was originally going to use the tweet from Bongino, but I came across this one in particular. Okay, so this is yesterday. This is at 12:55 in the afternoon. Bongino to MSNBC, whatever. When I asked him for a comment on a story saying he was leaving his position in January, print whatever you'd like, no one believes you anyway. We've been hearing that Bongino was going to leave for a while, so this isn't like out of nowhere. Like we saw this coming. Fast forward to 5:16 p.m. that day. Bongino on Twitter, on X. I'll be leaving my position in January. Dope. Thanks for clarifying. I'll be leaving my position with the FBI in January. I want to thank President Trump, AG Bondi, Director Patel for the opportunity to serve with purpose. Most importantly, I want to thank you, my fellow Americans, for the privilege to serve you. God bless America and all those who defend her. I'm going to say this first of all. When his podcast come out, that thing is going to be fucking fire. Unfortunately, it's going to be just him talking, but God, if we could get an interview with him and I don't know, a Steve Bannon or even a Crowder like that, that would be a very interesting conversation. Okay, Kash Patel. Apparently, essentially Dan's boss. Dan is the best partner I could have asked for in helping restore the FBI. He brought critical reforms to make the organization more efficient. What reforms? Led the successful summer heat op, served as the people's voice for transparency, zero transparency, where the file's at, and delivered major breakthroughs in long unsolved cases like the pipe bomb investigation. Okay, that's only a small part of the work he went about every single day delivering for America. He not only completed his mission, he far exceeded it. We will miss him. The main thing he wanted to do was get out the Epstein files, and he didn't do that. Let's see what Trump had to say about Bongino.
Dan did a great job. I think he wants to go back to his show.
He wanted to go back to his show.
Yeah, I did. Dan did a great job.
Okay, so Dan Bongino's out, the first member of, I don't think he's a member of the cabinet, but it's, you know, it's very adjacent. First one to go. He wants to go back to his show. It's going to be entertaining to see what happens when he goes back to his show. Like, and if he does any interviews or anything and what he's going to say, this is going to be fascinating. I will be staying tuned to this one. So thanks for sticking with me, guys. Bongino and Patel are idiots, and keep this absolute ridiculously clown car thing. It's going to continue to move forward. And I'll keep you guys updated. Have a good day. Like, share, subscribe. Peace.